make you aware of the basics of the network model. The network model which we discussed in your lecture was activity on arc, where the activity or task is identified by an arc. Now, what is an arc? It's just an arrow. So the tail of the arrow is where the task will start, and the head of the arrow is where the task ends. So in order to understand those, and then you have nodes. So this is one of the network diagram. And this network diagram specify three columns. So the first column is basically the tasks or activity ranging from A to F in this case. And then you got another column, and which is the predecessor. So predecessors are those activities or those tasks that precedes some task. So in this first category, if we say A has no predecessor and B has no predecessor. So if we want to represent that in terms of activity on arc, what we need to do is we need to draw the first starting node, and that node is node 1. Now from that node 1, since activity A and B both are independent of any task, so we are going to generate two arcs from node 1. So this is arc number 1, and this is arc number 2. At the end of this arc, I'm going to draw another node, another two nodes, and these are node 2 and node 3. And I'll identify the tasks A and B on these arcs, something like this. That is A and that is B. Now, if we proceed towards the C task, then the predecessor of C task is activity A. This means when activity A is completed, then activity C can start. So logically, the activity A ends at second node, so activity C will start from that. So here you go. We'll draw another arc and we'll end up on a node, and let's call that node 4. Now, remember that the positioning of arc should be that the tail should be with the lowest number and the head should be with the highest number. So always the arc should be directed from the lowest node to the highest. If that is the case, then your network diagram is consistent. Now, moving on towards activity D. Now you see activity D has got two predecessors. Now, whenever there are two predecessors, so this means that activity A and activity B should end at the same node. So in this case, if you see activity A and B, they are divergent, right? So activity A is going that way, activity B is going that way. So logically, using arcs, we cannot unify those two tasks at one node. So for that, we use dummies. Now, one thing about dummy is you need to limit the use of dummy in your network diagrams. Excessive use of dummy is not recommended in network diagrams, specifically AOA, which is activity on arc. So since A and B are the predecessor of D, so what am I going to do? I'm going to draw a dummy task through an arc, a dotted arc, and I'll call that dummy, or let's suppose it's a dummy 1. Now you see activity A ending at 2, and then the dummy D1 activity joining that with the arc 3. So B is ending there, A is ending there. So now activity D can start from node 3 like this, and I'll end it at one node. Now A is done, B is done, C is done, D. What about E? E starts when C is completed, and that was activity C, and that is activity D. So when activity D ends, activity E will start. So now I need to conclude that. So if you think about that, this whole network diagram can be managed by 6 nodes. How is that? So just think about that. So E can only start when C ends. So I'm supposed to draw an arc from node 4 to node 6, something like this. And that will be activity E. And then F can only start when D is completed. Here you go. So we'll create an arc from the 5th node to the 6th node, and that is activity F. So this network diagram is now completed. Now, one thing more, the durations, we usually write those duration in front of the alphabet in parentheses. So this means it is for 2 time periods, maybe it's a days, weeks, whatever. So you're supposed to write it that way. For B, it's 3. For C, it's 4. For D, it's 3. And for E, it's 4 again. And for F, it's 2. Now this network diagram is completed, and this network diagram is what we call activity on arc. So these activities A till F, they are represented on arcs, and nodes are where the activity starts and they end. Now let's move towards one another network diagram, and let's proceed towards that. So I'll just bring it down. Now the next activity is the next network diagram, which we will try to construct is this particular one right here. Here activity ranges from A till H. Now if you think about that, same as the previous one, activity A has no predecessor. So what does that mean? We'll draw a node 1, and from node 1, I'll create an arc, and that arc will represent activity A, something like this. Okay, now, excuse me. Then the next one is activity B can only start when A is completed. So this means activity B will follow A. So I'm going to draw another node, that is activity node 3, and I'll represent activity B on top of that. Now the next one. The next one says that activity C's predecessor is A. So this means when activity A is completed, C can start. So activity A is completed on node 2. So from node 2, we're supposed to make one more arc, and that arc should be pointed towards node 4. And on arc, I'm supposed to write activity C. So A is done, B is done, C is done. Let's proceed towards C. Now, D activity can only start when B is completed. Where is B ending? B is ending at node 3. So when B is ending at node 3, then what am I supposed to do? I'm supposed to draw an arc starting from 3 and ending at a node. Now, I'm not going to number this node yet. Usually, we number the nodes later on, but you can do that as we go along. Now, let me do something. So activity C only follows after A, and it ends at node 4. So what if I mark it as a 5th node? Now notice something will happen, and if I call that D, right? So D is done. Now E, notice this node right here. That is node 5th. Now activity E can only start when activity C is completed. So the logical explanation for that would be you need to follow these tasks in combination right here. So you see right here, D, E, and F. They are the predecessor of G. So technically, this means that D, E, and F will end at the same node. So D is ending at 5th, right? So this means activity E should end on 5th and activity F should end on 5th. Now let's go towards activity D. So activity D can only happen when B is done. So it's node 5th. Activity E can only happen when C is done. So activity D and E. So E will end at node 5. Why? Because later on in network diagram, D, E, and F are the predecessor of activity G. Now let's proceed with it. Moving on towards activity F. Activity F can only be completed when activity C is completed. So this means once again, we are supposed to generate another arc from node 4th, since on node 4th activity C is ended. So I'm going to generate one more node, and I'll end it at maybe 6th node. Now notice, I numbered that 5th and I numbered that 6th. Now, this is activity F. Two activities are left, G and H. So G can only start when D, E, and F are completed. But right here, if you think about that, activity F is right here, E is right here, D is right here. So activity F is not ending on 5th because there is a rule. Two activities starting from the same node cannot end at the same node. So we are supposed to use dummy activity. So for that, I am creating a dummy activity from node 6 to 5th. But now notice something. What does the rule say? The rule say that the arc should always be pointed from the lowest to the highest. But right here, it's pointed from the highest to the lowest. So that is incorrect. So this means, and that's why I was telling you that notice the number of nodes right here. So I need to number that particular node as 6th, and I'm going to indicate that as 5th, right? And we'll call that a dummy activity D1. So one dummy is used. And why do we use dummy? Because D, E, and F should end at a 6th node. So D is here, E is here, F is here. So we are joining that to node 6 to a dummy activity. Once that is done, it's time to create an arc for G. So from where G will start where the 6th, where there is a 6th node, where D, E, and F are ending. So I'm going to generate one more arc, and I'll call it a G, and I call that activity 7. And lastly, activity H. Activity H should only happen when G is completed. So we will draw another arc from 7 to 8, and that is activity H. Now, this is one network diagram. Now, you see right here, we used only one dummy. But there are ways in which you can represent that network diagram. Let me show you one another way in which maybe you'll use more than one dummies. So let's proceed towards that. So for instance, if I am to represent AOA network diagram using this data, but maybe slightly we'll try to do that in two dummies. So let's start with that. So once again, A has no predecessor. So I'll start this activity A from node 1 and end it at node 2. Now, moving on. Activity B and C both got the predecessor, which is A. So this means from node 2, we will create two arcs, and I'll call that activity B, and I'll call that activity C, and it ends at node 3, and it ends at node 4. So 2 to 4 is for C, 2 to 3 is for B. Now, once this is done, then it's time for activity D. So activity D can only start when B is ended. So we can do something like this. Once again, It starts from 3, ends at 5th. I'll call that D. Now, what about activity E? Activity E can only start when C is done. So logically, it should follow node 4 till node 6. That is activity E. Now, here is the thing. Activity F can only start when C is completed. So this means I need to generate one more arc from node 4, and I'll end it at node 7, right? Something like this. Once again, notice something. We are supposed to use dummy activities because we know that D, E, and F should end at the same node, but right now they are ending at 5th, 6th, and 7th. So I'm supposed to join node 5, 6, and 7 to 2 dummy activities. But once again, remember the rule of drawing an arc. It should always be directed from the lowest to the highest and not the opposite way around. So here you go. That is the first dummy, which is correct. That is D1. But if I, and that is by the way, activity F, right? So now if I draw an arc from 7 to 6, it's incorrect. It does not follow the rules. So what am I supposed to do? I'm supposed to get rid of that, and I'm supposed to write here 7, and I'm going to write here 6. And that is, now we can generate a dummy from the node 6 to node 7. So you see the same network diagram, but with 2 dummies, right? And both dummies are directed from a lowest node to the highest node. Now, once it's done, so this logically means that D, E, and F are ending at node 7. So from there, we'll start activity or task G. So it starts from 7. Why? Because the G's predecessor is D, E, and F, and that is node 8. And finally, H has a predecessor G. So H will only follow once G is completed. So here you go. That's a 9th node, and it's activity H. Now, notice the difference. In this network diagram where we use AOA network diagram, where we use 2 dummies, our total nodes are 9. But in earlier, if you check that one out, we got only 8 nodes. So the rules of AOA, activity on arc network diagram, identifies that dummy activities should be minimized as much as possible. So this network diagram and that network diagram, they're perfectly fine. In your lecture, we tested both. There is not much difference, but technically speaking, a single dummy is much better than using 2 dummies in a network diagram. I guess we should proceed towards one more network diagram. Now, this network diagram is something like this. It has activities. It has activities ranging from activity A till G. So let's try to represent that now. You can pause the video and you can make it yourself. And once you do that, then you can play this video again just to test how far you are in understanding the activity or not. Now, activity A and B, they got no predecessor. So this technically means that they both originate from the same node 1. And I'll draw something like this. This is node 2. And this is node 3. I'll call that A. I'll call that B. And why is that? They don't have any predecessor, so they can start from node 1. Now, once again, activity C can only start when A is ended. So where is A ending? At node 2. So I'm going to start another task C from node 2 and end it at node. Now, again, once we have a choice. Should I? Yes, that is a 1, that's a 2, that's a 3. So I'll call that 4 for now. So if there is any discrepancy where arc is leading from the lowest to highest, we can change it afterwards. So this is activity C followed by A. Now, activity D is also followed by A. I guess, yes, activity A is followed by, activity C is followed by A, and activity D is followed by A. So I'm going to draw one more arc, something like this. And let's call that node 5th, right? And that is activity D. But now, let's check for the dependencies. So right here, activity G has a predecessor, which is B and C. So this means technically B and C should end at the same node. Now, we are in a little bit of trouble. B is right here, C is right there. So what if we can switch? So what if we can shift task D right here and task C right there? It will not change anything. Because logically, if you see, activity D only starts when A ends, and activity C starts when A ends. So if I flip it, it's perfectly fine since the arcs are directed from the lowest to highest. So that is consistent, that is fine. But it will give us a flexibility that we can use a dummy arc to connect activity B and C. And how are we supposed to do that? So let's proceed with the network diagram. So that is activity A, B, C, and D. And now it's a turn for E. So when does E start? When B is ended. So for that, I'm going to draw an arc. And that arc should be right here. Let's not number it yet. Let's wait for it. So activity E starts from node 3 and ends at an unknown node. I will number it just in a bit. But after that, F activity can only start when D is completed. So what if we do something like this? So this technically means that this arc should be 6. It's the last arc, right? So that is activity F. And this one is activity E. What about G, the last one? The last activity predecessors are B and C. So that is B and that is C. So I'll generate a dotted arc that is the dummy arc from node 3 to 5, and that is a dummy one. And I'll simply connect node 5th and node 6, something like this. And here you go. That is your network diagram.